government put in so that the car dealerships couldn't finagle stuff around. And now they don't make them easy to find, but so if I'm looking at this one, first I need to make sure am I on new cars. Hope so. I don't know. Let's just go to trucks. See if we can find something under here, just to give you an idea of what it is. So we got this Tundra. This one here is not too hard to find. Right there it says factory window sticker. And it looks something like this. Should tell you all the different options that the car has. A lot of times if you look at this, all of this area out in here will be filled up with options and everything, and about 3/4 of them, when you look at them, you think, why is that an option? But you got to know that they're charging you extra for stuff like cars don't normally come with floor mats. All right? Other things that you don't think are options, a radio. Not a CD player, just a radio is considered an option. Power brakes. What other kind of brakes are they going to put on a car now? You don't have manual brakes on any automobiles in this country anymore. So, but they consider power brakes an option now. And I don't know if any of you have ever actually had to roll a window up manually.
All the time.
Really?
Pardon teachers for the interruption. At this time, if I could have all Renaissance Club members that are going to the Refresh Chamber meeting this morning to come down to the office. Thank you.
Most cars now have power windows, right?
Yep.
But they still consider it an option, even though the manufacturer probably doesn't produce any cars hardly with power windows anymore, unless it's, there's certain kinds of vehicles that would come out with power windows. But most of them are without power windows, most of them have power windows, but they still consider it an option. If I try to make this a little bigger, some of the stuff you can see on here. Scroll over a little bit. Tells you what kind of car it is, the VIN number, all that other stuff on here. This number says base manufacturer suggested retail price. That's the base price of the vehicle coming straight from the dealer or from the company, from Ford, GM, Toyota, wherever it's coming from. That's the base price before they add any options or anything else into the cost. So this one's $37,865. This, on this site, these are the list of extra options that they are charging you for. The first one says 50 state emissions, which looks like they didn't charge you for that. Then it's got the tow package. So to put a tow package on this truck, $555. All-wheel floor liners. Or all-weather floor liner, sorry, can't read. Again, they're saying that the floor mats don't come with it, so they're charging you extra $179. Spray-on bed liner, $600. Those are the extra options. These are all the options, or other things that they say that are options, but apparently they're not charging you for. They're trying to look nice and saying, hey, we're not charging you for all these options. And again, that goes back to the stuff, some of the stuff like safety, the airbags and everything. The federal government will not let them put out a car now that does not have airbags in it. So even though they're calling it an option, it's got to be in there, otherwise they wouldn't let them sell it.
A whole lot optional about
Now some of the stuff I can't believe, like this one says, services for 4G network. Can't believe they're not charging you for that, but most all cars have that now somehow. I don't know how to use any of them in my cars, but most everything has some kind of internet hookup or some kind of setup that you can do. What else do I see on there? 18-inch styled steel wheels. Now, if they said like chrome, some wheel, that's fine, but every car has to have the 4 wheels on it, otherwise it won't drive. So I'm not sure what the steel wheels, that's what's on every single car, if it's just a normal car. So that's all your stuff. You get down here to the bottom. Suggested manufacturer suggested retail price, $39,190 something, I can't read that. Then this other number right here, $1,795. This has went up a lot here in the last couple of years. That's the cost for the manufacturer to ship it to the dealer. So even if Tage goes in there tonight and that car is sitting there, and it's been sitting there for 2 months, and he wants to buy this, they're still gonna charge you that, what the manufacturer charged them to ship it to them. All right? A lot of places now, you go to a lot of car dealerships now, and they don't have very many cars on the lot. Because what they'll do is they'll take your order and then have it shipped in. And that $1,795 is a very low number then. Because if you go in there and you say, okay, I want, the Tundra that's blue and such, got this and this and this, and they have to have it shipped in, they're probably gonna charge you $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000. So, in the price that you pay, the sticker price, $40,993. Again, you can find all that stuff on here. Some other stuff that's on here that we'll talk about as we go through this chapter. There's a number on here somewhere. They've changed it since I've looked at cars. They used to put a number on here, like a rating. A gas mileage rating. It was an actual number. Somehow they figured up this number, and they must have changed it to this now. But it used to be that they had a number on there, and when my wife was looking at her car, trying to buy her car, it's been, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago now. She was trying to buy her car, and I was outside while she was talking to the people about the car, and I was looking at some great big huge SUV that was like $180,000, and the guy come out, one of the people come out and said, are you interested in this? And I just sort of half-heartedly said, oh yeah. And he said, well, we can take it for a test drive. And absolutely not. I'm not getting in behind the wheel of a $180,000 thing and haven't taken any chances. But on it, the rating, on the gas mileage rating, was a negative number. And I said, how in the world? So on this chart, I guess it'd probably be like down there at 1 or something, unless that chart may go on down, I don't know. But it was a negative number. So compared to every other vehicle in the country, this was like the worst possible gas mileage that you could get in a vehicle. So I don't even remember it. It must have been like one of the big Hummers or something. I don't know. But it was some ridiculous car. So you can find the fuel economy on it. Annual fuel cost. That's probably quite a bit higher right now. It says you spend You spend $3,000 more in fuel cost over 5 years compared to the average new vehicle. That's probably not too bad for a truck if it's actually getting that mileage. Right, and that's probably a big if, because that's
Probably not the way I drive.
when they show you this stuff,
My truck gets half of
right? They show you that's in perfect, condition.
Downhill,
Right.
wind blowing you.
And you're coming up to a stop sign and you're starting to, you let off the gas,
6 miles back.
right, way back. You drive like Ebersole and you drive like an old man, and you let the car stop itself just about at the stop sign, and you don't have to use the brakes. And
I just close one eye and drive through
I mean, that works.
yeah, it works every time but once.
But once.
Twice, because they already didn't work once.
Other things, I'm not sure, this,
Scan it with your phone.
you scan it with your phone and you can probably do stuff on there. But the main things that we're gonna be looking at for today, this base price, that's the base price, that's sort of the price. I don't wanna say it's the price that the manufacturer charges the dealership, but that's the price that the manufacturer tells the dealership this automobile should start at. All right, so that's the base price. Then you have the other two things that we're gonna look at today. You have your delivery fee or your destination fee. It's called different things on different sites. Used to be the destination fee, probably 5-6 years ago, $400 or $500. Now it's up to $1,700-$1,800. This is one of those things that the dealership, it's their charge, they have to pay it, but so that they can make more profit, guess where they're getting that money back from? Whoever buys the car. So even though that's their charge, they're gonna make the consumer pay for it. So it just gets added straight in, and then we're gonna look at the sticker price. On that sticker price, as we go through the chapter, what we're gonna figure out is when you're looking at a sticker price, a lot of places now won't haggle at all. Some places will still. A lot of places, I know we went to, I don't even know, it's one of the big like car gurus or somewhere like that. And I said, well, I'll give you $6,000, not $6,500 for that car. And they said, there's no haggling. This is the way it is. If you don't want it, you don't want it. It stays here, and we go on. And they were the same when I've never ever traded in a vehicle, and I was going to trade in my van at that point, and they said, we'll give you this amount for it. And I said, Blue Book on it's $8,000. You're going to give me $6,000? I don't think so. Well, that's the price that we'll give you and no more. So they won't. A lot of other places won't haggle at all. Now, on new cars, you might be able to get them to drop down a little bit. All right, and where they're taken from is they're taken from their profit, and we're going to deal with that throughout the chapter. And then as the chapter goes along, we'll get into more, probably for most of you. I shouldn't say that. You guys are probably going to be richer than Ebersole ever was. But I've always bought used cars, and we'll talk about used cars as we go. Tage is never going to buy a used car, right? So everything's going to be brand new every single time.
All you can do now is get a blow them up.
All right, on the notes, start this chapter. Again, new 9 weeks. Oh, yeah, new seats. I gotta do that, don't I?
I mean, I'll sit right here.
So before we do the notes and stuff,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, you can put your computers, phones away.
I think I'm gonna stay right here. I'll have to see RIP.
We know that says it's wrong, Dylan. Started with those two words.
What do you like to see? You like to see. That's forward.
The first two, Dylan.
I like.
Full sentence, what did you say?
I like.
That's not good when you don't know what you said.
I don't remember what I said. I just say.
So I'll call off your name, you tell me your number, then I'll write it down here. Owen.
3.
Elijah. You said 4? Michaela.
8.
That was my spelling error. Tage.
14.
Keith.
6.
Adam. Allie.
15.
Dylan.
5.
Kylie.
12.
Landon.
13.
Peyton.
7.
Dustin.
10.
Bo. 1.
Oh.
Aiden.
Yeah.
Set.
Yeah, 11.
Put your numbers back in the bucket for me. Do me a favor, set that up front there for me, Adam. You guys find your new seats. Everybody else. Slate, you want to start, bud?
Hey, not really. Good job. I'll tell you.
No.
You can tell you
Bo, will you do me a favor?
already know what my actual answer is.
It's right there.
You know my friend Linda, you already know my actual answer is.
Adam, do I sit right here?
You're, yes, I read it. To some extent.
Right here? Yours is right there. Adam, right here? Yeah.
Should have done less. At least done one.
Fill in your.
What's up with you now?
Oh, let me see.
Right, silent treatment, my favorite.
Allie, you're in the table box. Allie, you're right.
Yeah. Now I feel like there's something else.
There's not. It hurts like hell.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
You're in the back.
All the way?
Yeah. Then Skylar, and you're right there. And then Landon, right here. Exactly.
Which one?
All the way in the back.
In the corner? There you go.
Again.
Oh my god. I always get a little bit closer to Bosie. Every time. I get a little closer.
How are you guys all in the same group?
Good question, Mr. Brown. I don't know.
They definitely looked in the bucket when they don't, they knew the assignment.
Start copying down these notes. 3 things: options, destination charge, or 4 things actually. Base price and sticker price. That's what we're going to deal with today.
Did you have to go get papers out?
Hey, let me give you a different one. I need this one.
Hey, you want me to see it? You missed whatever.
That's like mine.
Yeah, it's amazing. Moving further away from the board, it's like bigger.
I can see the board I'm talking about.
Hold up.
Oh, my goodness, planet will shut up.
I'll just go.
Again, it's been a long time since I've looked at new cars, so some of the options, I know in the past, a lot of the options, and you see some of them on TV, but not like it used to be. Used to be on TV, they'd have all kinds of car ads and stuff, and they'd always say, one of the things that they'd always say, power brakes, power steering. Well, every car in the country now has power brakes and power steering. Right? That's not something, it's not really an option anymore. But it's still something that they list. I shouldn't say every car because I'm sure there's some big, living in hillbilly heaven here where there's some big farm trucks that you can buy that don't have power steering on them. I don't know if any of you ever drove anything without power steering.
Yeah, it sucks.
Not very much fun, is it?
Like trying to hit a tractor.
My first 2 or 3 automobiles didn't have power steering. They, all right to drive if you were turning going like 40 or 50 mile an hour. The power steering works real well then, but when you slow down to actually take a corner or something, it's pretty rough. Other things that are on a lot of automobiles now that are still considered options, air conditioning. How many of you have a car that doesn't have air conditioning?
Or Dylan's the only one with his hands up.
Dylan, your car doesn't have air conditioning?
No.
Does it have?
I mean, from factory it does, but it don't work.
All right, it doesn't work. That's what I was getting ready to say. It doesn't count that it doesn't work. It still had it from the factory. Your Aveo that you had didn't have air conditioning. I think that was the last car that I had that didn't have air conditioning. It didn't have air conditioning coming from the factory.
Really?
No.
I just roll all the windows down.
Yes. Until, one of the windows didn't work when I sold it to you, did. I was thinking one of them was broke.
I don't remember. That thing was fun.
All the handles were broke.
All the door handles, the wire.
And all the window handles were broke too. I put little knobs, house knobs on them.
Oh, yeah. You're making me miss it now.
Destination charge, again, cost of shipping a vehicle from the factory to the dealer. That's a charge that the dealer has to pay, but it's a charge that they're gonna not eat away at their profits for. They're going to just ship that charge on to you. What are some other options that you might find on a car? Tow package,
Bigger room than
bigger rims and tires maybe, fancier ones,
Plow package.
maybe a front end,
four-wheel drive option.
four-wheel drive, sunroof. Which, so let's,
Wood grain.
wood grain inside, maybe some interior stuff. Which one do you think, engine size, you could get bigger, smaller, different kinds of transmissions? What, which one do you think's more, automatic or a standard shift?
They don't really mean for trucks.
See, that's, and so now it used to be back in the 1960s, if you ordered an automatic, it cost you more from the factory, right? And a lot of the cars, like I know the 1970 442 car, the name 442 is for, 4-speed is one of the fours. And if you ordered it from the factory with the automatic shift in it, it costs you a whole bunch more. Well, now, if you have that automatic, it's worth like $20,000 less than the manual from back then. So now it is, if you want a manual, it costs you more. All right, because that's, my wife wants every car that we buy, she wants a manual shift, and you can't hardly find them. They're just not out there because they don't make them anymore unless you order them special. Now, they do still have, you know, some of the sportier cars and stuff have the manual slap thing on the steering column. They're right, the paddle shifters, which I don't know how that's considered a manual, but they do consider that a manual. But you can put it in drive and go and not have to use the paddle shifter
On
almost.
some of them. Like the, early Mustang I drive in Florida, it's like that. I go over everywhere, pound.
All right, the formula, sticker price. Sticker price is the overall total price. It's the base price plus the options cost plus the destination charge. Destination charge.
Final destination. I was not wait for Mr. Beast to give me a free car. Mr. Beast.
Who's Mr. Beast?
Just a rich dude, a YouTuber, throws his money away.
Throws his money away.
Well, not literally, like he just like throws his money.
Bro has so much money, he doesn't know what to do with it.
He has a lot of money, a lot of his videos are sponsorships.
And he like does like big donations sometimes.
You know it's-
$200,000.
you know he's actually
this random
poor.
7-year-old at a restaurant.
He's poor. He uses all the money from his last video for his next video. Him and Seth is poor. He'll leave it a minute.
So what video did he make to give all those African kids shoes? Give them $2 million on shoes.
But the video also has sponsor for it.
Maybe it only had on. They said broke.
Again, the sticker price, that's the price that the dealership is expecting to get from you. Sometimes you can negotiate and get that sticker price down some. As we go through this chapter, you'll learn that where, and you can get online and look at this stuff, and they'll give you good ideas of, hey, this dealer makes this much on this much on this. Well, the dealer's not gonna lose money. That's first thing. All right? So there's a space in there where, are they gonna make $4,000 on you? Or are they gonna make $2,000 on you? and you can haggle a little bit and get them down there, if they're wanting to sell that bad. Again, a lot of places now, no haggle, hey, this is the price, take it or leave it. The base price is what the manufacturer, that's the manufacturer's suggested price. Options, we just talked about, destination charge, of course, it's how much it costs to get from one place to the other. Short thing today, the stuff's fairly easy. All you're doing is adding those three things up on most of them, finding your sticker price or finding the other prices. Page 342,